Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
The Yankees' Double-A roster, the Somerset Patriots, is home to 5 of the team's top 10 Major League Baseball pipeline prospects, including Jasson Dominguez, Everson Pereira, and former first-round pick Trey Sweeney. Joining me today to talk about these guys and how they're doing so far this season is Julian Guilarte. He is a minor league baseball reporter for the Somerset Patriots and content creator for Dugout Station. Julian, how's it going, my friend?
Hey, thank you so much, Derek, for having me. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to talking some Patriots.
So, you obviously are more connected to the Double-A team than I am. A lot of big-name prospects on that team. You know, the Jasson Dominguez's, obviously Everson Pereira, Trey Sweeney, former first-round draft pick. At this point last year, Volpe, Ken Waldichuk, and Luis Medina were all on that roster. They've all since made the major leagues. Let's start with the Martian. How are you feeling about Jasson Dominguez, how he's doing so far? He obviously got off to an abysmal start, 3 for 39, but he's now 3 for his last 7. He's got a couple of home runs. He's had some extra base hits mixed in there. 9 stolen bases, ton of walks. What are you thinking about Jasson so far?
I think there's some positives to draw here. I think the fact that he's still walking and stealing a lot of bases despite his slow start with the batting average was encouraging. I think he's been taking a lot of close pitches. I haven't seen him chase too much, which is good. Average and stuff should come around. You're starting to see it. Sometimes, like when you start the year, it's just not a great start. I mean, the Double-A pitchers probably made adjustments to him based off last season too. I'm thinking I kind of wanted to see like if there was anything different they had been doing, but I haven't gotten a chance to ask him about that yet. Spoke to him like opening day, but I think he's starting to adapt. I think people have been out of their minds thinking he should be in the major leagues because that's just ridiculous. Like people are still like calling him up now, but I understand like he's trying to get through Double-A at this moment. Let's see him get to Triple-A first. I mean, you can't rush the process because there's a problem at the big league level. Like I think that's the issue that people are having here.
Yeah, but just watching him, what would you think what would you consider the reason for his slow start? Was it something mechanical? Was he striking out a lot? Did he look overmatched?
I think there was a few strikeouts here and there. I didn't really think it was a thing of being overmatched. I think he was he was grounding out a little bit too, like popping up, but he's been getting it together. I think it was kind of just the weather probably played a factor too. He hasn't none of these Spanish players kind in the cold, so I'm sure it's helping too much. But yeah, I think maybe a little bit in the beginning it was just a bit much for him. But I think you're going to start to see him pick up this next week or so, get himself going again. I still think he's going to be just fine. Maybe the process of getting called up to Triple-A will be slowed down to a slow start, but I still think he's going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing how he progresses.
So Trey Sweeney, another guy that gets a lot of attention, first-round draft pick. He's continuing to play shortstop, which I find interesting because he's blocked by Volpe. He's blocked by Peraza. Has there been any talk about moving him to another position, maybe third base, maybe the outfield, maybe first base? And what are your general impressions of him so far?
I really like what I've seen from Trey. I know he slowed off a little bit after a very hot start, but he had a few multi-hit games. He's been stealing some bases too. I think he has 5 steals or so. His defense has actually been very good this year. I know the problem is the shortstop logjam, but he hasn't made an error this year. He's made a few nice plays. I think he's looked a lot better defensively. Could he be passable in the MLB? It's short, maybe, but we're never going to get to see it here. It doesn't matter. So the talk for him moving positions is always a question. He fields those questions every time we speak to him. He's said he's been open to it. They haven't done a thing with it yet. I think if he was going to move, he has a bigger frame. So I guess I see why you would say third base seems to be something people are thinking about. First base, I guess that's possible. I don't really see the outfield right now. I think if he's going to move, it's going to be somewhere at infield. Maybe they wait till Triple-A to move his position because, you saw what the Mets did with Ronnie Mauricio. They kept him in shortstop the whole time, and now they started moving him. He's in Triple-A. So maybe they don't want to move him because he's still a little bit away. That would be my juncture with that. They haven't spoken about him moving him yet at Somerset still.
So you mentioned he had a couple of multi-hit games. How does the power look? he was a guy we heard of, has some legit left-handed power. It's something the Yankees could obviously use. Is he driving the ball?
Yeah, he is. He's been getting some extra base hits as well. I mean, he hasn't been hitting home runs in bunches by any means, but I know he has a couple of them, and he's making good contact, which is important. And he slowed down a touch recently, but he has 2 home runs in the year. Actually, one. My bad about that. But it was two for a second, but it's one. So the power is going to come. I think he'll be good. He had a couple last year when he got called up. He still has to fully adjust to Double A too, because it was a quick call up for him last year, and he's starting to go through that now. I think you'll see him get like 15 to 20 in the season, maybe. If he fully stays in Double A, if he gets the call to Triple A, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. So on the pitching end, Clayton Beekman is a guy that the Yankees picked up for Joey Gallo last year. Yeah. He's currently sporting a 1.08 ERA through 3 starts. Kind of jumps off the page. You hear a lot about his strikeout numbers. He had a lot of strikeouts last year. He's got more strikeouts than innings pitched this year. You look at his highlights, and it looks like major league caliber stuff. What are your thoughts on Clayton Beekman, and are you hearing any, I guess, whispers that he could be somebody that gets promoted?
I love Clayton Beekman. Guy's a beast. Yankees made out great in that Gallo trade, considering how bad he was. Beekman, the thing is that he wasn't fully a starting pitcher last year. That's the only thing I would caution here. Like, I feel like they're trying to stretch him out more this year. Like, he's a full-fledged starter now. He's going 5+ innings. Last year, I don't even think he hit 5 innings in the game. He won his first game this year, too, as a pro. So they're still trying to develop him, but the strikeout stuff looks like it's off the charts. I feel like he'll get to AAA at some point. I don't know if he'll get all the way up, but I think a lot of great things from Clayton Beekman.
How are you seeing the velocity on Beekman?
I think he's in the high 90s, somewhere like 96, 98 range. I think that's what we've gotten him at, somewhere in that category. I think he's maybe hit 100 before, but I don't know about this year. So he's in the upper 90s for sure.
How's the command look?
Good. I mean, it looks better than it ever has before. I think he looks like he knows what he's doing every time out there. I mean, there was one start he had a little jam, but he still only gave up 1 run, and he got out of it. I mean, he looks really composed out there. He's really confident in what he's doing. Like, the Yankees changed his approach a lot, I think. So he's starting to stick with it. He said he was working on a cutter in the offseason too. So that's something he's been playing in a little bit. His curve's really good. That's the one thing that would stand out with his breaking pitches to me.
So another outfielder that we should probably talk about is Everson Pereira. He's been a guy that Yankees fans have heard his name a lot. We saw him a lot more in spring training this year than we have in the past. He's got a lot of power. He's got good bat speed. He's had some injury problems in the past, but it looks like he might have put those behind him. What are your thoughts on Everson Pereira?
Everson's been okay this year. I still want to see a little bit more. Like, his OPS is 743. Kind of like, he's been okay. Like, a 1 home run, 9 ribbies, 2 stolen bases. His defense has been really good, though. He's been playing some good D out there. I actually think he might be a better center fielder than Jasson Dominguez, honestly. I don't even know if that's a hot take. It might just be like what it is. Because I feel like Dominguez might translate more to left in the future. Pereira's been in center. I think they've kind of been equal. You know, Bader took some time in center too. Dominguez has played left. But I like Everson. The problem is his swing and miss. It's the only thing he's got to clean up with his bat. His speed's there. His power's there. His defense is there. He has a leg up on Jasson because he's been in Double A a little bit longer now in terms of moving quicker. Maybe it's him just because of that. And he's definitely someone that's on the radar for sure.
So it sounds like Spencer Jones is kind of right on these guys' heels. He's, swinging the bat really well at high A. So generally when guys get promoted, other guys get promoted to higher levels. So your thought is probably that Pereira has the advantage on Dominguez as far as first to get promoted. Should Spencer Jones join the roster?
Yeah, and they also have Lockridge and Rosario, who I think are kind of stuck in that Double A mold, most likely. I don't see much movement with them. I mean, I guess they could call Locke up because he has a lot of experience, maybe, if they want to move someone up there. But and Rosario still has to work on some things. So he did 2 homers the other day. Yeah, I mean, maybe Everson in that situation. I don't know how quick Spencer's going to get to Somerset. I know he's been killing the ball at Hudson. He had like a 4-hit game the other day with like 2 triples and a double or something crazy and like 2 stolen bases. And he has ridiculous power, plays great defense for his size in center field too. He's like a unicorn, Spencer Jones. I think we could see him in the next 2 years in the Bronx, honestly, like how fast he might move. But I can't wait to see him get to Somerset if he's going to be electric whenever he gets there.
Yeah, I mean, you hear the left-handed Aaron Judge comparisons. I mean, 6'7". I don't think he's quite as jacked as Aaron Judge. Like, he looks a little bit skinnier, but he also he runs really well. He runs really well.
Judge, honestly, which is pretty crazy. He moves, and for that size and that the way the ball jumps off his back and like how he seems to make good contact too, and the fact he can play center is just ridiculous to me.
One thing that's interesting is that, you know, when Aaron Judge first came up, he had that really tall batting stance, and over the years you've seen him get into more of like a crouch position. You look at Spencer Jones right now, and he's very he's very high up, and you wonder if they're going to try and shrink his strike zone a little bit, because as you get to face better and better pitchers over the years. And I got a cat trying to knock down my wall here. As you get better and better pitchers, they're going to be able to spot the ball within that larger strike zone a little bit better. So it wouldn't shock me if they make some tweaks there. Just from being close to the team, I just want to get your thoughts on, do you have any other sleepers that have caught your eye? People that you're maybe hearing whispers of, hey, this guy's better than people realize.
Yeah, give me Will Warren. I mean, Warren, I think he's the first pitcher to get called up before Clayton Beekman, actually. I think he had like 8 Ks the other day. One day he had like not 8 out of 9 Ks in the first 3 innings. I saw him pitch a scoreless game through a 6 2/3 or 5 2/3. He has 29 Ks in 17 innings, which is even more than Beekman. The ERA is a little bit high, but don't let that fool you. Warren's got it going on, and I could see him following the path that Ken Waldichuk followed for his quick promotion to AAA last year, like in May at some point, maybe. I don't think it's going to be too long, and it was 5 2/3 on opening day. But he has 3 games with 8 Ks this year already out of his 4 starts.
Pretty good. Pretty solid. The one guy we're seeing on the screen, Austin Wells, have you heard anything lately about his timeline to come back?
Well, he's in Tampa now, so he's making his steps. I don't know the exact time frame or his full-term plan, though. I think when they listed the prospects, he was listed as a Somerset Patriot, though. So maybe that's where he'll stop, and then we'll see if he gets to AAA. I know Carlos Narvaez has actually been under the radar too. That's another sleeper I'll give you. He's been playing really well defensively, getting a few big hits. And Seager went down, so now it's really Narvaez's opportunity here to see what he can do. He's been doing pretty well. Maybe Austin gets to Somerset. I don't know for sure. I'm really just spitballing here, to be honest with you. But maybe like the next week or week and a half, he gets his way back into that lineup, maybe for their next homestand or something. Because I know he's still in Tampa for now, and you're going to do Hudson and then maybe stay Somerset. I thought he could have made a case to start the season in AAA if he didn't get injured, though, just because he had a really good year at AA last year when he got called up. So we'll see what happens with him.
Well, I appreciate it, Julian. I think we're all looking forward to seeing these guys. Obviously, the Yankees big league club has been kind of decimated by injuries, and if they continue to pile up, the Yankees are going to have no choice but to promote some of these guys. So keep an eye on it. Follow Julian on Twitter at Julian Guilarte. Is that how you say it? Guilarte?
It's Guilarte.
Yep. Yeah. Julian Guilarte 1. And he is also running Dugout Station, which is a YouTube channel, and you guys have got a social media presence at this point as well. Julian, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Hey, everybody. If you've made it this far, we thank you. If you'd like to support NYY Recaps, please like and subscribe or pay a visit to our Shopify store for some great Yankees merch. Yes. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. But if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just visit NYYRecaps.shop. If you really want to support NYY Recaps and help keep the show going year after year, join up as a member. It's $5. and members get their names up in lights during each post-game show. We're also on all podcast platforms, Instagram, and Twitch this year. So give us a follow if you use any of those platforms. We're expanding, and we have you to thank for making this such a great community. We'll see you next time.
It is your destiny.
Case closed. Ball game over.
Most impressive.